My name is Bjørn Riiber. I work as a Microsoft technology specialist for Citrix. I also have a role as a tech evangelist, so that means talking Citrix end to end. Always nice to be in Helsinki. It's kind of my second home in the Nordics. I've been more to Helsinki than Sweden and Denmark, so you should feel okay about that. I'm not that fluidly in Finnish. I know Kipish, Kiitos, and I don't even try the spellings you do. But today we're going to talk about the modern workspace as a service. What we do with Microsoft and how we are engaging with Microsoft. We have been, some say we are the little brother of Microsoft. Some say we are the second part of the married couple with Microsoft. We have been working with Microsoft closely for 27 years or so. More now than ever. And most of it's based out of Azure and what we do together. How we beat our competitors when it comes to building good solutions. So that will be the topic of today, how we integrating the different part of Microsoft stack with the Citrix stack. So going to run PowerPoint and I'm going to run some demos if my mobile network's catching up. So let's go ahead. What do we see when it comes to cloud today? We talk a lot about public clouds. We talk about the private cloud, who is like our own data centers today, and we talk about the hybrid cloud. We do in Citrix support all three of them. We don't think that much about what kind of cloud you're going to run under, because you have different needs. Different need means different solutions, but based out of the same GUI, like we make available to you in Citrix Cloud. So Citrix Cloud is the new way of delivering Citrix as a service. If you're going to run it in a private cloud like Azure, perfect, fine, do so. If you would like to have a hybrid solution, maybe you would like to extend some of your data center to a new platform. Let's say you keep what you have today. Instead of buying new hardware, new storage, building out your own private data center, just add the services you need to a public cloud like Azure. It's very easy. What we say in Citrix is all about thinking about the user and the IT department. We say like contextual access, contextual networks access, close to the humans. It's all about bring your own device. Not necessarily you bring your own. You can get one from your employer, or you can pick and choose what they give to you. But bring your own sets a new standard for how we are thinking about granting access to the services. And then you have all the different services comes from all different places. Tommy and I work for Citrix. That means Citrix doesn't run all the services in our data center. We use Salesforce, who has always been a cloud service. We use Workdays, it's like web applications delivered over the internet. We don't host them ourselves, but when Tommy and I accessing those solutions is always through the Citrix way of doing it, to secure it. And then you have the unified endpoint management we put on it. We don't think about MDM or MOM that much, MCM. We're thinking about the new way of controlling it. I have different devices who is controlled differently. My laptop is not controlled at all. It's an old Samsung 900X, the best laptop I ever had. It's very old, but it's going to be a sad day when it's gone. My cell phone is bought to me by Citrix. That means I say, okay, I can put MDM on that. I can put MIM on that. That's fine. My iPad is my own. It's only operated with a MIM solution, mobile application management, because it's mine. I don't want Citrix to could wipe that device totally. So therefore I said, okay, you can wipe what's yours, the corporate applications, but not my private content. So it's all about what we say when it comes to controlling the content. You can probably take away all the other stuff that IT delivered to me, but if you take away share file, I'm doomed. Because share files is where all my documents are. It's where I connect to with Microsoft. They are using OneDrive for Business. I use share file, no problem. I have a lot to do with Cisco. They use this box internally. That's fine. They're sending me documents through box. I use share file. So I have total control of my unstructured data from one single glass of pane. Then, of course, you have the security and the performance analytics. That's going to be more and more important. We have experience with 6, 7, 8, 9,000 applications for more than 25 years, which we have read the logs. We know the algorithm of the applications. Now we're going to use those knowledge to deliver more quality to the users going forward. So it's very easy to see how we are building a software-defined parameters around our solution for users and IT to control what users can get. At the end, it is the user who is the most important person in this picture, because if he doesn't get access to the applications, the desktops, the documents, the knowledge, every company is losing valuable knowledge. So, how do we think about accessing? Who are the owner of the identity? Some say, yeah, you need an Active Directory license. You have to be a part of the company's Active Directory. If not, you can't get access. Will that be a thing going forward? No, it will not. Soon, you will have somebody else owns the identity. For example, if I don't use Citrix logon, my username, credentials, I can use Google, I can use Facebook for work. I can pick and choose what kind of identity I would like to use. And on the way, from I'm clicking on a resource, I will be granted access to it, because our Citrix NetScaler is going to convert and be an identity provider converter on the way in. So I can pick and choose what kind of identity I would like to have. So that's going to be important going forward. Who's going to own the identity? So what's about the never-ending story of Skype in Citrix? How many is running Skype in the business or have customers running Skype? How many is running Skype on Citrix? One? Does it work? Yeah, it does. Do we going to support Teams? Yes. When Microsoft releases the API and we can build a solution along with them, like we did with Skype, using the internal API set of building Skype. Skype for Business, we are running. Is it this month or next month? Is end of life for all the other suppliers we have? It's Skype for Business for all employees in Citrix. Even though locations who have bad bandwidth, some of our customers has regions office, branch office that has a problem with the bandwidth. For them, we often use Citrix software-defined WAN to optimize and deliver Skype for Business. Some of them are like worldwide companies that saying to have an MPLS network for every location is way too expensive. What we do then is maybe have one small MPLS network who is dedicated for line of business applications. We add one or two other bandwidth into it, like ordinary open internet or a 4G network. Then we have 3 pipes which we run through the software-defined WAN solution and optimize. So it looks like one huge pipe. So if the internet connection goes down, we can transfer for the users. They will not recognize any problem. They will get a kind of couple of seconds. It's going to be a little bit blurry before it picks up again on speed. So we can optimize and utilize low bandwidth with low cost for branch offices. So software-defined WAN is pretty important. Even if you have Azure Express Route, Citrix software-defined WAN can be a good add-on to the user experience there. And then we have the identity when it comes to coming into Citrix. And by far, NetScaler is extremely important. You can go into Azure Marketplace and buy all the products I'm talking about today. It's more or less everyone is one flavor in Marketplace. NetScaler is one of the most important things when it comes to having a good user experience and a secure access of all the resources you have. You might have NetScalers on-prem today. Complement those with Azure NetScalers, VPX, virtual appliances, runs in Azure to grant a good access when it comes to conditional access and sharing conditional network. So what you add into it, I have to put on my glasses to see everything is on there. We're building up all the momentum of bringing new features into the solutions. So when it comes to the edge, what kind of services you will get access to, it's depending on what kind of role you have in the company, what kind of needs you have to do your job. We're just adding everything into it, so you can even optimize the workloads. And to optimize the workloads is depending on what kind of workloads you're running. Some workloads is very easy to run. Like Tommy probably talked about AutoCAD out of Azure. It's a heavy workload. That means you might need an optimization solution to it. Then you have the access to apps and data from all the users around it. And NetScaler is, again, extremely important to have there to take care of the load balancing. Even if Azure have some load balancing, you might need other solutions to it. And Yossi outside, he can talk about the difference between Citrix load balancing and what's working and what's not working inside Azure if you go visit Yossi afterwards. And then you have the identity, how we can mix and match, how we can support what you need. All Citrix products gonna be integrated, fully integrated into Azure Active Directory. So if that's your route down the line, fine. All Citrix products gonna have built-in support for Azure Active Directory there. So you have the identity, and then you can start to add new services in like Send Mobile. Then you also can have Storefront, which is our application portal where you get access to all your services. Web applications, software as a service, Windows applications, Windows desktop is all into the storefront. I'm going to show you how the future of that one going to look in a couple of minutes. And then you have if you need a hypervisor for the clients, a type 2 hypervisor. For example, if you have a corporate image on Windows, which you say it's going to be used for every user, and you have a lot of Mac users. They can use desktop player. Citrix is a typical, we have a lot of employees with Macs. Many of those is running desktop player to have the corporate image on them and synchronize those down. So again, an opportunity to have both online and offline services. And ShareFile, as I mentioned, Microsoft have sold ShareFile for almost 5 years, and you will say that, wouldn't that be a competitive product against OneDrive for Business? No, because it adds values to OneDrive for Business. For example, you can merge all your documentation system to one. You have support for SharePoint, Dropbox, Box. You can have one single glass of pane where you are accessing your documents. So ShareFile is not a competitor, it's an add-on, and has very good integrations with Office 365. So pick and choose kind of use scenarios where you have use cases where ShareFile comes. For example, sharing documents to as a society where not all have a Microsoft account. We have multiple small local governments in Norway which are using Google and share documents with them. They don't have an office, but you can easily share with ShareFile to them, so they can log on, get the documents they want, and communicate back to you. Then you have what make this possible in Citrix Cloud. In Citrix Cloud, and to integrate Citrix Cloud to Azure, we have something called Cloud Connectors. It's almost the same as a VPN or a reverse proxy solution, but it's not. It's a Windows solution. It's installed on a virtual machine inside your data center, your public or private data center. So it's evergreen, it's always up and running. It takes care of the identification, the update of the Citrix software. So it's evergreen, it's up and running. So that means we don't host anything of your workloads. That stays in Azure Resource Manager. We just have the connector to update the services in Azure. So Citrix and we in Citrix doesn't see any of your workloads or your documents, because that's stored and being protected by the functionality Azure gives you during that subject. So to have cloud connectors, you need one, but to be up and running at all times, the safest thing is to run as a high availability pair. It's very easy to set up. Just use the blueprint of GitHub and you will spin up to cloud connectors very, very easily. And of course, you will have the modern secure digital workplace when it comes to building up the solution. And I'm going to show you a little bit later on how it looks like and what it will feel for the users. So it's very easy. It's kind of complicated, but this is a tech audience, so I reckon it's a lot of bits and bolts. Let's start at the bottom. Citrix has a receiver. The receiver runs on any given device. About 2.5 billion devices has a Citrix receiver installed. That means you can pick and choose any given device present here today, and I can easily get access to all my data. I can borrow any of your phone, tablet, PC, and get a secure connection to my applications and data without leaving anything on your machine. You can go to the airport, find a lockdown device. It can be a thin client or lockdown PC, where I'm not allowed to install anything. Open the web browser, type the URL to your company, and you will have access. So for us in Citrix, is gocitrix.com is where the IT started delivery chain of applications and data to us. Very easy. So pick and choose whatever you like, put the security and the rules you need on top of it. So a hospital will probably have more rules of what you can get access to depending on what kind of network you're coming from. Are you coming from a approved internal network, coming from a public network, or a public network abroad of Finland, compared to a device that is enrolled and protected by the rules in a mobile device solution. So pick and choose. So contextual identity is extremely important when you're going to get being granted access to all the resources your company wants you to have. Because we're going to get more and more locations where the data are going to come from. It's not going to be like in old days where you get everything you did receive come from the IT department. That doesn't work any longer. It will come from many places, and you will get grant access to it through your IT and the way they would like to handle it. Even so, we have our special solution with Microsoft, which Citrix and Microsoft are the only one who can deliver. Most of them is sold through Azure Marketplace. That means SendUp Essentials, who replaced Azure Remote App the 31st of August. It's called SendUp. It's a very easy way to deliver applications, run every workload you would like, from easy Windows application to AutoCAD applications. Send Desktop Essentials, same style, only works with Microsoft and Azure and Citrix. Only place you can buy it in Azure. Now we are coming with Send Mobile connected for EMS. That means you can run Intune and Send Mobile as a joint solution to cover all the aspects of delivering Office 365 and enterprise on-prem mobile applications to the user. So, and even more to come. We are now in the phase of releasing Secure Browser for Essentials. You probably understand the little bubble up there. When it's called Essentials, it's delivered through Azure as the only place you can run the workloads. So everything is easy to get access to. Pick and choose wherever you would like to run it, and we will take it from there. So it's all about running Azure, what kind of solutions you would like to run. Workspace Services is what we say is the total package of delivering Citrix. You get Send App, Send Desktop, Send Mobile, Share File, and other services like NetScaler Mass when it comes to the analytics, and everything it's delivered through Citrix Workspace Services, which you can pick and choose what kind of services they are standalone or built into as a fully integrated solution end-to-end. And of course, Office 365 or Microsoft 365 is deeply integrated in all Microsoft, all Citrix products. So if you are like, I use Office 365 or migrating the Microsoft 365, it's fine. You can still continue to use Citrix as part of the end-to-end story to solve the needs for your user. And then you have the NetScaler with the connectors, which, as I said many times before, is extremely and a critical component when it comes to security. And then you can run the resource location wherever you like. As I said, Citrix we still don't care that much about what kind of hypervisor we are running. Hyper-V, Send Server, vSphere, KVM, we don't care, because we don't need the hypervisors to do the logic, because that's part of the SynApps and desktop NetScaler products. We don't need the hypervisors to deliver the intelligence of what we're going to help your users with. So, same in cloud. Of course, we have said that Azure is our preferred platform. Citrix Cloud and all its services is run from Azure. We don't use any other cloud providers to deliver the services. You can run the workloads in Amazon if you like. SoftLayer, Rackspace, any given service provider, maybe that's going to run Azure Stack in the future. So pick and choose whatever you like the services to be run. And of course, as we said, NetScaler is part of it anyhow. So I think it's time for demo. We started a little bit late, so let's see how the modern workplace looks. Here I'm for using a browser. Let's see, this is a demo account, so it's not my name who pops up here, but it is what it is because it's not a released product yet. So probably I'm not allowed to show you either. But it's far away from me to the US, so I'm going to give it a go. This is Citrix Receiver, run as HTML5 inside a browser. I'm now Richard Panel. He is our CTO, not CTO, but he's our Chief Demo Officer, based out of Sydney, Australia. So here is my favorites. All these applications are applications I'm using on a regular basis. Here is all application who is published to me. So if I click on Review, I could probably read what kind of application it is. I could add it as a favorite, open it, or read a description if that had been part of the publishing process of the applications. I have access to all my desktops. I have a hosted desktop from SynApp. I have a fully Windows 10. I have a Windows Server vGPU. So I can, for example, start to open that one and pop back to take the rest. But the other thing who is new now is that I also, in my receiver, is getting access to all my share files. So here I have share files. So here is my folders. Here's my recent file, shortcuts I need to have. Here you can add training tutorials and other information you would like to share with the user. And you can go in and see that, okay, personal folders, shared folders that, for example, Tommy and I sharing a folder for doing some work. Favorites, network shares. If you click here, you will have direct connection to your internal file shares. I can share a connect, SharePoint, or I can add a connector to any of the different vendors. So Box, Dropbox, Office 365, OneDrive, I can just add that. The connectors need NetScaler because we don't add the connectors into the product. We add it on the way in, on the access. So when we say a connector to other vendors, that means it has been handled by the NetScaler on your way in. He will always know and grant you access. So here you will have access to all the files and folders you have. You can also build workflows. I don't have the time to do a demonstration on it, but here you can add a project, add the members, do the sharing of documentation. You can use like the Office 365 functionality for simultaneous typing in the same document. But when the document is ready and need approval, it is in the workflow. You have decided who will have the final word for the document and can approve it, and then it's going to be released for sending out. If I'm sending out a document who is not approved to any given one of you, you wouldn't be able to open it because you was not part of the workflow. You will be part of the open it when it's released, but not before it has been approved and then released. So we just opened the virtual desktop. So here you can see I have a car with AutoCAD. So when you see I clicking, then it starts to shine up. I can just turn it around. And it now runs, if I'm correct, on the West Coast US on a cell phone in Helsinki in an IT event. So it's pretty responsive for how it can be utilized around the world. So most of this demo environment is West Coast US deployed in Azure. So this is how our modern look and feel. You can of course customize the colors, the logos, a lot of other things. Is cascading style sheet in the storefront, so it's no problem to optimize it so it look and feel the way you would like to have on it. So one more thing before we are ending this session is all about what's coming next. The world is under attack. It's a security battle out there, and 80% worries about the data breaches. Over 1 trillion spent on cybersecurity. It's a huge amount of feelings on how to reduce the DDoS attacks and the ransomware attacks. And not many companies would like to have this message on some of the users' desktops, but it happened. And 89% of them are financially or political motivated, and it's extremely professional, and it gets Bitcoin to grow in value because you have to pay in Bitcoin to get it released. So what's common with this cyber security risk? Anyone? Any guess? What's the common factor? 90% of those attacks is coming through the web browser. It's just like in old days when we did like Windows 7 upgrades. We was pushing out Adobe Acrobat and WinZip, which all the people try to target because they have the admin user to do the update because it's coming so many updates. Now it's the same when it comes to web browser. So what we will release with Microsoft, we have it as a service already today at Citrix Cloud. It's called Secure Browser. So now I'm going into the Citrix Cloud. Let's see if I still got bandwidth. Yep. Here I'm logged in as myself, as you can see. I have different services on my account. Here I have the share file, I have the send mobile, which I haven't production environment for. my Synapse and desktop services, my NetScaler MAS services, where I do all the analytics and monitoring and reporting. The artificial intelligence and the machine learning is going to be delivered to this as a cloud service only. I have the Citrix app layering functionality, but I also have the secure browser service, which is very easy. It is so easy that my father, who is 82 years old, can publish a web application through this solution without failing. Little bit depending on if you're going to use multi-factor authentication or not. So I'm just going to open documents with URL. Now I'm going to publish an application. I will say externally, just for the it's easier, and we have 5 minutes left. External application, unauthenticated. Click publish. Give him a name. Paste in the URL. Choose what kind of browser this application would run perfectly under. It can be a security functionality, but it can also be a delivering security of knowing that the application would run exactly as you have developed it. Because sometimes you have the people who makes the application, they test on 1 or 2 or 3 web browsers. That's the only thing going to be supported. That's going to be not supported. So let's say that I'm going to run Internet Explorer 11. I will deploy it in West Europe, and I say publish. Because if I go and test the same URL, which I have up here, look what's happening when I'm trying to accessing this website. It tells me that it's only run on the Safari for Mac and Internet Explorer, not for the Chrome. That means I can't do whatever I like. But as you saw, I just published that application. TechTalks, go in here, say launch web app. What's going to happen now, you're going to see it's, instead of coming up with this error message that's saying that can't run on the Chrome, it will take a little bit longer to open because now it's securely opened in a Synapse ICA session. That means if the application needs cookies and other identifications to open, when I lock the browser, those will be gone. If it's malware, when I lock the browser, they will disappear. Nothing will be on my machine because it's run in a controlled environment. So now you see the AltStar online application is opening. So instead of getting this error message saying it can't be run, it's now running smoothly. It's a very easy and secure way of saying, okay, we would like malware to disappear for our line of business applications and an application that we need higher security on. So we can now publish it. So if I now type Norwegian newspaper into the browser, an idiot shows up. That is not the paper's fault. If I try to go back, you see it would refresh the session again. It's not the same session I had. It had to be refreshed. And it pops up again. That will be a solution who will pop up in Azure Marketplace. sometimes this quarter, maybe next quarter. You will find it in Azure Marketplace as a Citrix Microsoft only solution. So when it comes to what we do with Microsoft today, it's just the starting of the beginning of a new era when it comes to Microsoft and Citrix, what we do together. A lot of new products is on the table, which we are not allowed to talk about. More integrations to come, especially when we think about Azure and Citrix overall. We will pop up with new solutions in Azure as one of the most important ISV that Microsoft has today. So feel free to visit me and the guys at the booth if you have any other questions. If not, I think my session is over. Thank you for taking the time, and those of you, you will be my new Helsinki friends, my Finnish friends. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.